on the news.
Okay, welcome everybody. It is the July meeting of the New Ulm Human Rights Commission. Everybody's here today. Thank you everyone for coming. First thing I'd like to do is call to order. Lisa sent out the packet. Did everybody get the packet? And the agenda did include the agenda. Can we have a motion to approve the agenda for the July meeting?
I move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. All right. The agenda is approved. And let's see, also included in the packet was were the minutes for June 25th. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes unless there's any discussion? Sorry.
I moved to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
All oppo-
Seconded, I'm sorry.
All opposed, nay, please. And the June minutes are approved. Okay, so number 4, this is a budget report. I had Lisa add this just so that I think it's a good idea to just do a monthly touch base about where we're at budget-wise. So we currently are at $5,518. The expenses so far this year was $1,000 for the yard signs, $10 for the parade entry, and stickers, buttons, etc. that Jackie purchased for handouts at various events was $296.30. So those are the three expenses that we've incurred so far this year. So we're looking good going into kind of the summer activities and then into our fall activities, and so that's good. And I think 6,825 is where we started. So does anybody have any questions on the budget?
Dan, is that fiscal year? Is that June offhand?
We get it, the new budget starts January.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
calendar year.
Okay,
Yep.
calendar year.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right. Any other questions on the budget? Okay. Let's see. So, number 5 on your agenda is the current human rights issues. 5A is New Ulm Forward. We do have National Night Out down there, but which is kind of goes hand in hand with New Ulm Forward. But does anybody want to give an update? I think Wendy, you were at a couple of meetings, and you're sitting really close proximity to me. So would you mind just kind of updating some of the discussion? I thought, and I was also there, and I thought it was interesting. So if you could just kind of provide an update of what's happening there. I guess.
I did miss the meeting before you as well, so I will do my best. But New Ulm Forward is a group that was formed in New Ulm based off of our previous meetings that we've had on race forums and talk about race, and they were headed up by the Mankato Diversity Council. We had Bukata Hayes come over and present to us. So this is a group that was formed after we had those sessions, and we have been we had some initial meetings talking about what our focus was going to be, or what our intent was, what are we going to do now, moving forward, which is where the name came from, New Ulm Forward. I think it essentially boils down to just being very proactive and starting race discussions in our town, preventing things that may come up or may have come up in surrounding communities, prevent them from happening here just by having open discussions and raising awareness. So New Ulm Forward does plan on having a booth at the Brown County Fair too. So we also have a meeting today at 6:30 when we're done with this meeting, and it's down at the New Ulm Middle School. So it's open to everybody, and we encourage anyone to attend from town. So
Me too. Me too. I thought it was informative, and I think that they got some really great ideas, and I think as those ideas and the group kind of materialize and manifest themselves, I think they're really going to do some really interesting and cool things. So I also encourage people to show up at the meetings as well.
Who are they being, just backtracking a bit, who are they sponsored by? Who is organizing? Is it just a community? Or is it something that the city has put together? Is it United Way? Is there a background? I don't know that part.
It was originally, the Forum on Race was originally, I think, partially at least sponsored by the United Way and Mankato Area Diversity Council. And this group was stemming from, okay, well, what does New Ulm need based on what we discovered at those meetings? So this is just
Okay.
community members
Okay.
that are coming together and from
So they don't have a
various facets,
fiscal
people all
source
over-
at
no,
this point?
No, it's
Okay.
people sitting in a room at the middle school thinking, okay, what can we do to
Sure.
make it better in our town?
Good. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion on New Ulm Forward? Okay, 5B is the Human Rights Commission Summit. Let's see, did anyone actually end up attending? Said no one did, but okay. All right, so nothing to report there. So, number 6 on your agenda is the Human Rights Award. Who wants to take that?
I can talk about it. I've been in contact with Alma. So we're planning in the October. It seems like that worked best for Alma and for everybody who's working on it. So that's a positive. The focus, I think Alma was talking about her interest in that being what are human rights and really kind of highlighting organizations that she's been involved in that also going to go along with the same kind of message. And that's about where we are right now as far as that. And we'll probably get together as a committee again or communicate about that and kind of solidify some stuff. But
Do we have a date locked down yet?
no, not for sure. We were just waiting on confirmation from her, and then we can go ahead and book.
Okay. Yeah, and I did send some emails out to some human rights advocates that also do immigration law. 'Cause we did talk about how that would be kind of a very topical issue that goes hand in hand to come as a guest speaker. I have not heard back yet, so I will definitely get in contact with you unless there's anyone else that had somebody in mind as far as guest speaking.
Do you know if there has been anybody that Alma has helped that would be willing to come out and talk about what Alma did for her and how it affected them?
That's a really good idea.
Probably have to ask Alma.
Yeah.
And Alma said, she said, this sounds weird, but I'm willing to help plan this event.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and she said, I asked her about her feelings on a speaker there, and she said she was going to think about it
Okay.
and get back to me for sure on if she wanted to have that or not.
Sure. Okay. Then maybe once I get a response, I'll run it by her and I'll say, hey, this person's willing to come and speak, and this is what they would speak about. And then see.
What do you think about us leaving a little open possible time if there are people there that want to talk about Alma, or if the people from the commission are there, we can share what we know about her and how she's touched our lives. It might be, it might fill a little time if we don't get a speaker.
Yep. No, that's a good idea. So the events committee, you think will be meeting? Dee, do you know, is there a meeting set up yet? Or
We don't have one scheduled, but
Okay.
I think we could kind of even just communicate via email and nail down a date
Okay.
as soon as we look at the calendar and when everyone's around, and then get that information out ASAP.
Okay. Yeah, because I was just thinking, even though it seems so far away, there's really only 2 formal meetings between now and then.
I think
so
we can probably get together after the fair and
Yeah.
before our next meeting. What do you think, Dee?
That's
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I think between National Night Out and the fair, we got a lot of things going on. So, okay, good. Does anyone else, with regard to the award, have an update? Chad?
I'm working on the award right now.
Yes.
Basically, I have everything worded. I handed it to Jackie. she took a look over, and said, yeah, this is wonderful. I'll present it to Dee and Diane at our next meeting. I stopped at Nicholson's. They are looking at 15 cents a letter. And if you're, we're up in 283-ish, I think it was, somewhere in there, for letters. So
283 letters on
Correct.
the plaque?
And then you're looking at a flat rate of about $40, just for the plaque itself.
Sure.
So, I also looked online, but again, I'm kind of afraid of quality.
I think it's nice to support local businesses too.
Very definitely.
Okay, so I'm no good at math, so I'm going to punch this in. So we're talking at, you said 15 cents?
Correct.
All right, so $42.
So
Right.
less than 100 for the
Yeah.
total.
Yeah,
Total.
I figured about 93.
Oh,
That's not too bad.
that's actually better. It sounds way worse. We're like 285 letters, 15 cents a letter. That's absurd. So no, that's pretty good. Okay, good. Thank you. Anything else on that, Chad?
No.
All right. Anything else that someone who's working with the events committee has with regard to the award ceremony?
I'm working on flyers.
Thank you. Press releases, is anybody working on the marketing end of it? Be nice if we could get a lot of people there.
I think we can do community calendar. KNUJ, I can let Todd know about that.
Letters to the editorial, there's something in the journal, what is that part that you can?
Like letters to the editor.
No.
It's like a
Oh,
town
community
talk.
calendar.
Town talk or something.
Yeah, there's a spot that you
Editor's
can,
mailbag or something.
there we go,
Yeah, that's
something
it.
like that you can put something in there too
And
that's,
that doesn't cost
KNUJ will
anything.
actually interview someone too for about 15 minutes, so it would be for both stations, and they don't charge for that, so.
Okay.
I would check with the shopper. I know we're in New Ulm, but I think we're talking immigration issues, and that covers Brown County.
Okay.
There might be some people there that be willing to support her or be there from outside of our city limits, but I don't know what the charge would be for that shopper, but they have an events area where there's anniversaries and birthdays and wedding stuff that's always
I
in
just
there.
got done doing all this research for something that we're doing at church, and the shopper is now connected to the Journal. And so there are, the Journal, you can pay for an ad, and then it can also float into the shopper, and you get the week of the event, goes up to the Citizens Bank sign. That's no extra charge, but I think there's a fee to put something in the Journal itself. And then KNUJ has a deal where if you're nonprofit, if you buy 6 ads, then you get 6 more for free. And so that might be something to look into to see if we want to do something like that. And then that would go with both the AM, FM radio stations. And they will do separate interviews for each station in addition to, the twofer deal. So
Okay. All right, good. Does somebody then, maybe someone from the events committee want to, I don't know what anybody else thinks about
I can-
scheduling an interview?
Well, I can get the details wrapped up and email them to you because I've already got them wrapped up for
Okay.
our event. So I can let you know what I found out. There's another place, and I don't remember where it was, that we could get some free advertising too. So
Okay.
I'll just pass all that along.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking if we get on their calendar, if we know it's going to be in October, I know we don't have an exact date yet, but maybe if we do within the first 10 days of October or something, just to have it on the calendar. I don't know what, maybe their calendar isn't that full and we can,
Yeah, we don't have to get it on now, but what we do need to do is, let's see, our event is in October. So probably by the end of August, we go online to the community calendar, and we just put what we want in there. That's the free part of it. And then we have to go to the Journal for other stuff, so.
Can we
okay.
also see if the city will put it, and we don't have a Facebook page, but if they put it on their Facebook page?
Or thank you, I was just thinking that with the public safety department or the police department page, that I'm sure they would be more than happy to share that along on theirs, because they've got thousands of followers, so
Yeah.
it would
Correct.
be a good way to get it out.
Okay, well, that's a
And
good
then
idea.
us as well, we also would want to share that
Promote
as
it, yeah.
personally.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think, yeah, just start thinking about, yeah, leading up to it, like what we can do to advertise. Okay, good. So we have all those ideas down. There's a lot of wonderful ideas, Wendy.
I noticed that.
Dan, I think the Journal will cover it if we don't remind them to send it, to send a reporter. Last
think
year
they
they
will
did,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
After the fact, they'd have,
Yeah, they put it in
Coverage with
afterwards,
pictures,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
afterwards.
So Diane, you're going to forward what you know to Dan?
Yeah, I've already got it put together. I'll pull out the specifics for our event and just put the basics down, and I'll email it to my event people.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, anything else on that? All right, so 6B then, hearing no further discussion, Bavarian Blast Parade. It was wildly successful. Thank you to everyone who was there. Yeah, it was really great. Does anybody want to talk about it? Wendy, do you have your breath back? Wendy did a lot of running.
You have to run, so just so in the future, because when the car goes and then you stop to do stickers or stop to hand something out, then it's ahead of you, so I was not prepared
Yeah.
for the
No,
physical running
yeah,
piece of it, but.
But no, it worked. It worked really well. Tim, Wendy, myself, Chad, commissioners that were working, and some family members walked. We did. It was kind of a late edition, but we did have a vehicle because we kind of just threw it in there. So.
But we decorated it with
Yeah, we
signs.
decorated. We got signs. We handed out a lot of yard signs, which is great. A lot of people asking us where we could get them. Right here, handed them out, which is good. A lot of applause, at least that I heard.
I only had one negative.
Seriously? They
Only one
applauded?
negative thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that might have been personally, not just for what you were representing, though, too.
No, a lot of
To
people,
consider
like,
that.
while they were applauding, were like, yeah, Human Rights Commission, and I didn't know them,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, so that was
I
good.
would never have expected that
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
That's
I thought the
Fabulous.
bookmark that was handed out was very good.
awesome. Thank you.
Very
I
good.
designed
Yeah.
it.
I thought that was, yeah.
Yeah, that was
People,
awesome.
I had adults, because I started out just handing them to kids, and then adults, well, can I have one? So it was really a good
I
response.
heard you
very
went
positive
through all
response.
1,000 of them, I think, is what there were.
We're kind of out, yeah.
Yeah, so.
And that was
is
just,
good.
for the second half of the parade, only one side of the street.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so we know more need to be done.
yeah.
You gonna order some more for the
Yes.
Bronco Fair? Okay.
I had
We
notes about that for the.
Definitely need to.
Yeah, and I was hoping that if somebody could, go and get what we have here left over from last year, because we'll also have the National Night Out, and I think it'd be neat if we had some things there to kind of hand out as well. But just to kind of get an inventory and figure out where we're at with that, because yeah, we're gonna need to order more things either way. So
I won't be able to get bookmarks here by Friday. Is that, because today's the 23rd, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, not today,
Yeah, 2 weeks
next
in.
Monday.
Okay.
I can check and then go from there, but I don't think
Okay.
I'll be able to get it.
Well, we'll just do what we can.
Okay.
Check and see, though, because people did really like them. So
Yeah, I
if it's
will.
possible.
We may have some. We had a good amount for the fair last year, but I'm not.
Yeah, I remember having them for the fair, so we may actually have some leftovers from there as
So
well.
next time, I'm not going to do any of the cards.
No,
I'm
those
gonna
are
do
mini
all-
bookmarks.
Yeah,
They
mini
are.
Yeah.
bookmarks. I'll do regular bookmarks.
Right. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
bookmarks were a hit.
Perfect.
Okay.
And also, I will say, with our sticker situation, someone's going to have to cut those apart.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness! I know. I
Because-
wish they came in a roll, and I wasn't going to cut them all out, so I apologize for that.
No, that's okay, but
I
in the
didn't
fu-
realize they weren't cut. So.
Note to ourselves, but I think even for the fair, and I can take them, I have a paper, but
Well,
just
and that's
someone
what I
needs to
did
cut them
last year
apart,
was
so.
to just cut them apart.
I was gonna say I thought last year they were all
You can
separated.
spread them on the
already.
table.
You
or
can-
You have
whatever.
one of those cool teacher like.
I
She
do.
probably has one at home.
There we
Totally,
go.
I don't know when at home, but I can go to, I wish I did.
Perfect.
Yeah. So no. Overall, for our first go at the parade, I thought it was awesome. I thought we all did really well.
Yep, and we're well received.
Yeah, we even had a little wagon that we put our sign on, and
Awesome. We
That was
can
the
get
float.
magnet
Yeah.
signs
Float,
too,
yeah.
possibly, if we're wanting to do that for
Yeah.
vehicles next
Oh, we had a
year.
banner too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the banner is awesome. It's about
It was
5
like
foot-
$40. It was
Yeah.
super cheap.
Yeah, yeah, it was about 5 foot, I think, long or so, and yeah, awesome. So,
Is this where we should talk about if we are gonna be ordering more things soon?
I was gonna bring it up
Because-
if we need to take a vote.
Okay.
If it was all right.
Because I
You might
think
as well, yeah.
we talked about the banner and maybe we could put one on either side of a vehicle for future parades,
Like a big
like the same one we just had.
magnet. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
'cause
even-
we can get car magnets that would look just like that.
Car magnets, I think that'd be a great idea, but I think, then that would be the only time we would really use it, whereas banners, maybe we could put them up in front of booths or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Larry, would you like to order another one through John?
The banner?
Yes.
Yeah, I can go ahead and do that.
Okay. Thank you.
If you want another banner, yeah. I think you have to go somewhere else to get the magnets, though.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
want a
no,
magnet for the
I
car,
have
yeah.
that through the same printing place that I do the others.
Yeah, and I think we've got a second banner next year. We
Mm-hmm.
can put it on both sides. Yeah, okay. What
And
else?
then
Take a
also-
vote on that for more supplies in the banner.
Yeah, okay, so does someone want to make a motion?
I move to purchase more bookmarks and another banner for the fair and possibly a national night out if we can get it here.
I second.
All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone in opposition, say nay. Okay, that motion is carried. Thank you, Jackie.
And piggybacking on that, we also discussed needing more signs because we gave out a lot at the parade.
Mm.
So,
And I forgot to take
I have
inventory.
like 5.
Okay.
and I have maybe 6 or 7.
I have
I
12.
had you
I got
already.
I'm in the 5 to 7 range as well. So, yeah, I bet you we're at like 25. maybe
Yeah.
So
at the
going
most.
into the
30, it
fair,
sounds
I
like.
think that's not gonna be enough for us.
Would somebody be willing, I can't do it this week, but to bring a sign up to Oakwood Church up on the hill on Oakwood Avenue?
Yeah, I can do that.
That would be great. The pastor's name there is Jason.
If it's after hours, can we just set it in the?
I would just put it like in the little entry
Okay.
way, lean it up
Okay.
there with the
Does
sticks.
that have to go in the minutes?
Oakwood?
Yes.
No,
Used to be the Methodist Church, but it's just Oakwood Church now.
don't put it in the minutes that way. If I forget, no one can say I
Right
didn't
on,
do it.
okay, you're covered, I'm not gonna write it down.
Yeah, I gotta deliver one, another one anyway. So, so I'll
Fabulous,
just-
thank you.
Yep.
They're a huge success.
Yes,
So happy about
People are
that.
so
They are,
excited
and-
to get them.
There's so
very
many
much
in
so.
town now, too.
Mhm.
It's awesome to drive through and just
It
see how
is.
saturated our town is, I love it.
Yeah, there was a handful along the parade route itself. So, which
Well,
was
the
good.
neighbors see and are empowered by their neighbors, so that
Yep.
is.
Yeah,
very
actually, I think someone who asked for one then said, "Oh, my neighbor wants one too."
Yeah,
Wasn't it
and
something like
they
that?
did, and they said, "Oh, is it okay if we get one too, even though there's one next door?" It's like, yeah, yeah, if you
As many as you
can.
need.
That's great.
Yep. So, if we order them, would those be available before the fair?
I think Mike's can do them fairly quickly, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Or not Mike, sorry.
Printware.
Printware.
Dan over Printware. Yeah, I don't think it'll take them long. So, how many do we want to do? How many would we like to get?
How much
many
did
can our
we
budget
budget
support?
for it?
Well, I think as far as those things are, we're kind of already at. Let me see where.
Yeah, but I'm guessing we're gonna probably revise our video awards so we can.
Yeah.
Oh,
So use those dollars somewhere else.
There's definitely going to be money from other spots that we're not going to, max out on.
Right.
But just so aware, I think 1,500 is what we allotted for, like signs and swag, if you will, so
Yeah.
for handing out, and we're at about 1,300 now. So,
And I'm going to eat up some of that with the bookmarks.
exactly.
Sign.
And
the-
2 banners.
The sign is, what are they running, about $8-9 a pop?
If we order a
Yes.
larger quantity of them,
Yeah.
so that's where you.
At,
I think
it's 10
It's 10.
if
yeah.
you do under 100,
Okay.
and then anything over 100 is 9.
Well, I think 100 or more was 10, because looking at it, the bill, we got 100 of them, and it was 1,000 exactly, because there's no taxes. So I'm guessing it's 10 on the button.
So we should have
It's
ordered
different than
101,
last year
is that what you're
then.
saying?
Huh? Should we
So if
do
we
a-
would, seriously, if we had ordered 101, we would have,
I thought 100 to 150 was the $10, but I can double check.
Yeah, because before it went down, when we ordered up to
at
50,
9.
it was $100, and then we went,
Yep.
if it was 100, it went down to 9.
Okay.
Is that something we want to look at having in October? If we're going to have a speakers and banners and those kind of things, do we want things to hand out at that recognition also? Have banners stuck? I don't know. I mean,
do
I've not been to
banners
one.
and everything, but even for National Night Out, I think we need to limit the number of signs.
Yeah.
Even if we purchase,
Yeah,
plenty more.
Just take that many that
We
night.
just need to limit at
Yeah.
that
I-
time, unfortunately.
I think if there's some left over by October, but just most people are going to want to have theirs in the ground before, sooner than later.
Well,
It's
that
summer.
isn't a winter project, no.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, I don't know that we should
There to
hold on to
stand
any
up.
necessarily. But
Would they stand?
Well, since we're talking about signs, I know last year, when we ran out at the booth, we took names and addresses. How about just having a sign-up sheet on our booth that says, are you interested in a sign? Or, even if we don't have enough, sign your name and address, and we'll put one up in your yard.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, if we don't have enough, I think definitely.
Next spring.
But it'd be nice to try to have enough, just, it eliminates that whole delivery piece too.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
yeah. But I like the idea of like a formal sheet
for
this
sure.
time because I think
Yeah.
before, last
If
year
we
were
run
just
out.
scribbling it on
If we run
a
out.
thing.
We can always
Well, and I
have them
think
come
we're
and
gonna
pick them
get
up at a certain time and
Saturated with
place,
the signs.
as well as delivery.
Yeah.
Like, there's a finite amount of people in town, a finite amount of people we're gonna hand signs to. At some point, we're not gonna have to keep purchasing
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
large amounts of signs.
Right.
Yeah. Because every house will have one.
That's right.
I think that is one of the
25-year
most
goal.
worthwhile things we're doing though, just because that,
Mhm.
I think it's, I think it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
And it's gotten our name out there so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
And it's kind of just, it shapes the feel of our town.
It really does.
So, okay. So how many do we want to get? 100 again?
If we can get them for that $9.
Yeah, see what the cutoff is for
Okay.
nine.
Okay.
Use your lawyer
Yeah.
fees
Negotiating skills.
to negotiate that.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe there's some sort of aggregate since we just bought 100. Maybe they can just
Yeah.
pretend that we ordered these together.
So do we need to vote on it? Because once you find out, we have
It's
to act on it
1,000.
or we're not gonna have them in
Right.
time.
Mhm.
Right. Right. Okay. Yep. Somebody want to make that formal motion? I don't know. Can I do it? I don't
Not
know.
really.
Okay. All right. I won't do it then.
Unless you appoint a
Motion
chair
maker.
and, well, yeah.
No. Somebody want to move to purchase 100 signs?
I move to purchase 100 signs.
Okay. Thank you. Second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, and his motion is carried then. Approval of the purchase of 100 signs for the least amount possible. Okay, let's see, National Night Out. So that is the 30th. So I advised Joey Strugel over at Parks and Rec that we would be there. Although, Wendy, do you remember someone was saying we've got to actually get somebody needs to like pencil us in? I don't know if it was Joey or if
That
we're
was,
actually formally in.
I can talk to Dave Borkert. He was
Okay.
the one that had mentioned
That's
organizing
right.
it. So
Yep. Okay. So
he'll be at the meeting after this meeting.
Okay. Yeah. We asked just to make sure that we're formally on it. I think that we are just because he was there. But we do need to. Oh, I guess I should ask who wants to be there. We're probably just going to set up a table with some stuff. Who wants to? I don't know what the hours of National Night Out are. Does anybody?
I think it's only a couple hours.
It is. I want to say
Yeah.
like 5:30
Yeah.
to 8 or something like that.
Is there anybody that's already going to be there that doesn't mind sitting at the table for an hour? Or
Well, I'm already going to be there with the New Ulm Forward group, and
Yep.
we had talked about putting our booths side by side so
Yeah.
we can.
I can probably be.
yeah,
So-
yeah, putting it close together. But if there's someone else that or
I
a
can do
couple
that,
of other
Dan.
people. Okay,
I could be there.
thank you.
German?
It's a German park.
German
Yep.
Park.
I think we want to have,
So bringing the table, will the table be there? What are some of the logistics on that?
I think we have to bring our
we
own.
got to bring our own.
You want to,
So
like,
can the events committee kind of just discuss, whether we can get a couple of chairs and a table to set up, and then what we want to put on and hand out. I think we did discuss, and I think which is a good idea, putting our student commissioner application form, having that available at the table, and really talking that up, because we still have just one application, and I'd like to get more. So, so we can start asking, if they look like they're in about that age range, junior to senior. So I don't know if the events committee can kind of just get together briefly and just iron out those details.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Write it down in the minutes.
All right. I think I will be
Like
there.
right now?
No. No, but just, it's
No, I can
in
be
less
there.
than a week, so
Just let me know.
I am fairly certain I don't have anything going on and that I will be there, and if so, I will certainly sit at the table.
So we just need somebody that
The
drops
other
off.
thing, and maybe this is an events committee discussion and doesn't need to happen here, but you had mentioned activities to do, or were you thinking both the fair and the night out?
I was thinking that if it was
Okay.
possible, if you garnered any ideas from
I have
that.
garnered a couple ideas,
Okay.
so maybe we can, afterwards, I can talk to the events committee just to, so we won't just have a table with stuff on it, but we'd have something interactive.
Yeah,
for
we'd like to do
kids
something interactive. I think it would be fun.
I think, to be completely honest, that's going to be a lot of work to figure out within a week.
Oh, I wasn't
For-
thinking of anything complicated, like
Okay.
even just a yes/no quiz where you have blocks and you have a question on the top. Do children have human rights? Flip it over. Things just
Sure.
very simple like that, informative, and yet then, okay, yeah, you completed it. Here's a bookmark for you, or here's, not, instead of just people coming past.
And taking,
And
that's
grabbing.
perfect, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So are you gonna do that, Wendy, or?
Yeah, I can do
Oh,
that. I
Okay,
did-
that'd be
yeah.
awesome.
I can put it together. I just want to make sure that I'm
Great.
doing something that you guys want me to do.
We want it, Wendy. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, she's your girl.
Okay.
I was thinking color sheets or something.
All right, National Night Out, anything else? Any other discussion on that?
One thing that had come up at our other meeting for the New Home Forward, because Dave was there and he organizes this, is do we want to have someone speak? Because they have a microphone, they have someone who's emceeing this event, and they would allow us, if we wanted to, just to stand up and give a blurb or talk about what we do, or really anything we want to say. So that's open. It's nothing that we would have to do, but it's an opportunity if we'd like to take advantage of that. And I was thinking that might be a good time to stand up and talk about the student commissioner and,
And you're going to be there already? Is that what
Contest.
you're saying?
no, it's not. You're inferring a lot.
Maybe it's fun to
I
promote
said
the award.
someone. It would. I mean, that we could,
Yeah,
and we can talk about, like, again, it doesn't have to be anything extra formal, but just, maybe we can talk about it once we're there and see who.
Yeah, if, provided I can make it, I will talk for just
Write
a
it
couple of
down.
minutes.
No jumping around on stage this time, Dan.
I can't help it.
He could.
Right?
Can't
I get the
promise.
microphone and I black out. And I don't know what happens in between.
It was the bunny hop.
It'll all be recorded on video.
Okay. Thanks, Wendy. Brown County Fair booth. I did distribute just a little sign-up sheet there. Wendy created a Google Doc. Most everybody here is at least done it before, I think. No?
Except
Oh,
for
Google
the-
Doc or
yeah.
the fair?
For
Google Doc.
the
Okay.
3 new one. Oh, the Google Docs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, right.
I received it, but it said I need permission, so.
Oh, I thought I gave everyone, I'll give you permission
Okay,
afterwards.
thanks.
It's kind of, it's funky when I do it from my phone.
You gotta do it from, the email that you sent it, or the,
Originally?
Yeah.
yeah, so if
Okay.
you're
I
coming
went- well,
at
I
it from a
had-
different email account, it won't let you
I
do
actually
it.
went into the document and did it, but
Yeah.
I was on my phone, and sometimes things go
Yeah.
funky that way. I'll make sure everybody has permission to go in. I just thought it would be easier versus everyone letting us know and trying to keep track on
Sure.
paper and pencil. So just go right in and just modify it. I'll give everyone editing rights, so just go in and change it.
And at this point, I think Dan and I will be the first shift to set up.
Yeah. Tim and I will take the Wednesday 5 to 10.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so just, you know,
You there.
double check your calendars. Yes, you probably won't be far away.
Yeah.
Double check your calendars, and then once you have access to the Google Doc, go ahead and put your name in there. Does somebody want to check in with? There's a lot of slots here. We don't have to double up. You certainly can. We doubled up a little bit last year. I also brought, some people brought family members. I don't think that it's something that one individual can't handle.
I think we did it partially for safety last year.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that was just
That's a
kind of
good
having
idea.
two of us there,
Yep.
a little safer.
I think that if I were to sign up for a shift and nobody else signed up, I would probably have like my wife and
Yeah,
Marley with
exactly.
me. So
I think booths in general are more approachable if there's more than one person.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Agreed.
not just a one-on-one and people get a little nervous, I
I
think.
agree.
Right. So yeah, two is the objective. However, like I said, there are a lot of slots here. It's open a lot of hours between Wednesday and Sunday. So so we'll do our best. But I was thinking if somebody didn't mind reaching out to former commissioners to see if they wouldn't mind sitting for a little bit, help us out a little bit.
Yeah, I think we all can kind of maybe do that. I don't know. I don't know who has a lot of contacts with.
We should all still have them in our city email box.
Yeah.
So like Babel and
Lori and
yep, Lori and even Alma.
Alma.
Mhm.
I can't think of.
Like Beth
Here
Sletta
before
was
that.
before that. And there's,
Ron.
yeah.
Fleischman.
Oh, I just dropped off a sign for somebody too that told me that they used to be on it. I can't remember, so that's helpful.
Well, Lisa would have all of their email information, I'm sure, still.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 2 or 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, maybe she wouldn't mind just putting an email out. Okay, yeah, I think that'll help. Just kind of like I said, just with all the shifts there, it gets to be, if you got to go every day, it gets to be quite a bit. All right, does anybody have any questions on fair booth stuff? So that is August 8th through the 12th. So this will be our final meeting prior to the fair. So, if you have questions or discussions, speak now.
I know we talked about the picture from last year. We'll definitely use that as a reference.
Mm-hmm.
Are there new posters or anything?
Yes, and I have.
Okay, cool.
So I will bring them to the setup, and before that, you and I will get everything from the basement and.
Candy,
Yeah, get candy.
Oh yeah, we
big
should.
hit.
Candy was a big
I
hit.
have a bag of Tootsie Roll candy that I'll be more than
Oh.
thrilled to donate. It's the kind about the size.
Yeah, that
You
you
know,
throw, yeah.
They are so little. I will be glad to bring them.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see whether or not we got to get 6 people to sign off on that donation, but.
Oh. They just are going to be in my pocket.
You
Okay.
realize this is all live, right?
Let's see. Yeah. All right. Education committee. Let's plow through. Number 7. Education student commissioner. 1 application still received. I have not received an update, so I think we are still at 1. But I really do like the idea of really selling it at National Night Out.
And
so.
the fair. I
And,
think we
and the
could do it
fair,
at
we
the
will
fair.
have, thank you, we will have the application there and a little thing on it, and so, so we'll definitely push that as well.
Plenty of pens then.
Yes.
Okay, so if we can all just bring a pen, I guess.
I
is
have
the best
those.
option.
Oh, I have a ton of them.
I have literally, I think, like 300 of them
Okay.
from Blistock it's already in a Tupperware container, so
Perfect.
it's ready to go.
And I think when we're working at the booth, if we're approached by someone that looks like they could be around the age of a student commissioner, that
Right.
really, see if they're interested. Play it up.
Okay.
Larry, you have those apps? Or do we each have them?
I don't have it.
Where are
no,
they? I mean, I'm,
Lisa has it.
Lisa
yes.
would have them,
Yeah.
and so I'll
Applications
need
go
to
to Lisa.
contact her
Right.
for Monday night. Okay.
See
Okay.
if maybe there, if she has a clipboard, or do we have a clipboard in storage somewhere?
I have,
Logo on the application?
I don't know. It's a good question.
If there isn't.
Most of the
put a
city
logo
official documents do, but
On application.
Oh, yeah, maybe not, if it's a city official well, we're a
Yeah.
city
Yeah, yeah, we're
commission, we
city,
should be
yeah.
able to.
Lisa would know. You can
Yeah,
ask Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Are you going to? Yep, it's in the minutes.
Yep. I will ask Lisa, get a copy. And then, yeah, and we'll print a bunch out so people can fill it out there, take it with them, et cetera, et cetera. I was gonna say something else about that. Tim, you wanna say something until I remember what I was thinking?
All right, so we're going to move on to B now, the video content.
okay.
Teamwork.
All right.
I was in contact with Lisa after our last meeting. We hadn't received anybody's handing anything in, so we decided to extend it for a couple weeks, and she, put the notice out to there. And I don't think we've gotten. I think we put it to the end of the month, but
Okay.
I don't think there are any.
Should we maybe put it to the end of August and have things at the fair
We could do
for
that.
information there?
Not a bad idea.
And at National Night Out, we can let people know
Sure.
since they're, usually it's
Yeah.
young people.
When did we put this out initially? Was it May?
End of May, we got it out.
Because
That
I
was
think
near
we'd
the
have
end
a
of the
much
school
better
year.
response if it was during the,
Yeah,
I agree- I agree,
But during
yeah.
the school year, because I think so many kids are gonna.
I was gonna say, I think we should run the fall poster and writing contest.
During the school year, the UCAT teaches 8th graders how to shoot video and
Okay.
create projects, so it might be good to reach out to Vicki Tamburino, who
Good idea.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
I can do that.
good. Okay.
She's a teacher of my kids.
And maybe the fall poster in the fall run the poster and essay contest, and in the spring run the video contest. Those semesters.
Yeah.
That way,
Yeah.
it's
Break it up a little
break
bit.
it up a little bit and try not to overlap it.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't get any more entries, I would suggest we just postpone it till spring and revamp
Be a
it.
great project for
Yeah.
their class.
Right.
It would, and
It would,
she and
yeah,
Vicki
it
would
would.
You could get credit for
embrace it, I
For
would
now,
think.
they make like a news program where they kind of interview different
cool.
teachers and school clubs, but some of them might be interested in hearing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they have newscaster
Cool.
jackets and everything. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Neat. All right.
So we're gonna extend the deadline through the fall for this?
Through.
Through fall?
I think so.
For
I'd
the
leave
video?
it where it's at. Start it again next year.
Just end it where it's at. Yeah.
My suggestion would be just to end it where it's at, start again in the fall and
Or for the
start
spring.
with a different, the new program and however we want to do things and give it
easier
a
to get
new
right.
closing
Right.
date as of April or May of 2019,
Well, and it would be nice because then school's in session,
Right.
you can reach out to a large number of
Right.
people in a short time.
And I think it also sets a presence that we do end it.
Right.
And you need
Right.
to get it in. If not,
Yeah, right. I agree with you.
So when was the current
I
contest
think it was the end
extended
of
through
July.
July?
They extended to the
Okay.
end of July.
And you said, and we can promote it. So we should decide then when we're gonna start it, or maybe get some written information about it as well, if we're going to be promoting it at the
Yeah.
fair or National Night Out.
I can get you copies.
Okay.
Yeah, do we want to have like maybe something that's just like a little half-page thing explaining it and when we're gonna?
Launch it.
Yeah.
Going to relaunch.
Yeah. So
Well, maybe we could have an information sheet on our contest. Just have the essay contest, the poster contest, and the spring video contest as information so they could plan ahead.
Mhm.
Maybe that might be a bit more, because if it's July 30th is the National Night Out, so it's the
Yes.
day before the deadline. So that's Not gonna get anything in this year.
No, not initially. I was thinking information on the new one. And I would suggest if we're gonna stagger the contest, to have the video one first. That's gonna be more of an extended time. It's gonna be involving more of a commitment on the school if they are going to do it through that program. Whereas if we peg it for the spring, it might be too late to get in on any of that.
Yeah.
Whereas the poster contest is more of an individual
Okay.
thing.
Either,
Maybe
All three of them can be sent out with different due dates.
Right.
when do they run that class, do you know?
Oh, we do, it's a kind of a trimester program, so
Okay.
there's, we teach the class completely through 3 times throughout the school year.
Okay,
Oh, that'd be really good.
so,
Okay, so,
I'll prepare something to hand out for Monday,
Okay.
next Monday.
okay, thanks. Is National Night Out Monday?
Yeah, next Monday.
Next
What is Monday? Okay, I was thinking it was Sunday.
No.
All right.
Monday.
Now this whole meeting makes sense now because people were saying Monday. Okay, all right, I'm with you. I've caught up. Here we go. All right, thanks, Larry. Okay, so we kind of knocked out 7B and C.
Nope, not
No?
totally. We were
Okay.
supposed to bring ideas for
Ideas,
topics.
Oh yeah,
I did.
Good job,
thank
Oh my
you.
gosh, I have an idea in my head. I didn't write it all
Yeah,
down.
mine, that's where mine lives too.
I had my kneeling for the anthem thoughts, either way. What they think the best forms of peaceful protest are, rights of non-citizens, the Me Too movement, gun legislation, what would make you as a student feel safer in school, solitary confinement of juveniles. Minnesota allows for solitary of any juvenile from 6 hours up to 90 days in solitary confinement. There are still 7 states that allow it for indefinite amount of time. Wrote down Planned Parenthood, but I think that gets too much into younger kids, and let's just pretend I didn't write that down.
Okay.
And then, which human rights affect you, or which are the most important in your daily life?
That's much better than what I had.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That encompasses everything I was thinking of.
Okay.
I was
Too.
thinking First Amendment, freedom of speech,
Right, that's
freedom
what-
of the media.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like the ones where they can reflect on what they think.
Mhm.
So, like, what human rights affect you, or what would make you feel safe at school,
Mhm.
rather than, what do you think about gun rights, or then it
Right.
starts to get pretty political with us.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and what would make you feel safe at school? That's not a political, that's a personal thing. So I like that. I do.
now the only problem we come into with that is we have kids that enter our contest that are homeschooled.
They're not in school.
And that might not apply to everyone.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
want to have something that applies to everyone too.
So I kind of like that idea, like taking like Jackie's 2 or 3 ideas, and maybe we make 5, and we say grab one of these, and then write an essay or a poster, and with these questions in mind. What is this? What does this human right look like to you? What would life look like without that human right?
Problem I think there is, how do you judge based on one thing compared? So I think
Right.
the reason we had one main issue for the poster and one separate for the essays, because it was just so much easier to do
Judging.
when it's just
Everyone's
based
using
on
the same
one.
paint and canvas, so to speak.
I think,
The same base.
the second one I mentioned was the best form of peaceful protest.
Mhm.
They can reflect on that. It's all one main, idea. And then, doing the which human rights affect you, or which are the most important, can be the poster.
Even if you're
Yeah.
looking at the one in school, it wouldn't have to, or public place. Because homeschooled children go to the library,
Yeah.
they go to other public places,
Theaters.
theater, if you had in school or a public place, that would encompass both.
But what does that part, by taking out Second Amendment, what does that part have to do with your human rights? If we don't have a reason for asking why you want to stay safer.
Good question.
That's a good question.
I don't know, I don't get it either.
I was hoping it was rhetorical and you were going to answer it.
Nope,
Oh,
I
great.
wasn't. It was a question. Like, I like the idea of being able to group everybody coming out with, like, with homeschool or public places or school, but there's no real definition of what we're expecting from that, I think.
I think if the combination of the two you mentioned, the freedom of speech along with the peaceful protest, you can kind of roll those into two of them, and they can tie it into this kneeling, they can tie it into the media, they can tie it into how it manifests itself.
Mm-hmm.
How does freedom of speech manifest itself in their lives?
Right.
I would use that word with them, but still,
Right.
how is it becoming? Because I'm sure in their own classrooms, they may feel constrained to speak out on some issues because of, other people may force them to not.
Bully.
Yeah.
How do
Peer pressure,
you
yeah.
exercise
Bullying.
your rights to freedom of speech?
Right.
Well,
Or,
probably-
we want it to be able to show what it is to them.
And also asking the question, when is it inappropriate to use freedom of speech? In what circumstances would it be better to not use that?
Right. That option.
I mean, because that makes them start to think about both sides.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the online
Choice
bullying.
of words.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Making yourself look like an idiot using Twitter.
That's right.
Well, maybe
we
a-
are on tape. We
Whispered
do have
it.
microphones here, guys.
Maybe what we should do, because we don't have to decide this now, is have the education committee meet
There you go.
and hammer this
Sure.
out further and then
I'll
report
send
back.
Okay.
the notes that I have to Wendy, and she can put them in the minutes, or who does the main stuff for the education committee.
Kind of me.
Me, Wendy,
Myself.
Tim. Yeah,
Okay,
at least
then
three
I'll
of
just
us.
send it as a group,
Yeah.
Okay.
my list, and I'll take out Planned Parenthood.
There might be an all-encompassing question that will come from brainstorming your ideas.
Right.
Right. Which you then will no longer get credit for because.
Okay. All right. Are we okay? Any more discussion before we move on to 8?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So the legislative update. I'm kind of just taking this from the email that Lisa sends out, but there are a couple of interesting things. The legislative session did wrap up, I think it's either June or July. So there was an article in here about another attempt to cut funding for the Minnesota Department of Human Rights. I'll just kind of read this. So the House has threatened 30% cut to the Minnesota Department of Human Rights contained in Representative Sarah Anderson's proposed state government finance budget. Never made it to the Omnibus Supplemental Budget Conference Committee report, which was eventually passed by the House and Senate, and then vetoed ultimately by Governor Dayton, citing numerous objections. And this is the MDHR has faced threatened tax cuts before, 24% and 30% in 2017 and 18 respectively, from, let's see, House Republicans in the past 2 legislative sessions. And they have not materialized, but it's just kind of important to keep that in the back of our minds, sort of, that, and that doesn't really affect us directly, but it's out there. So, there was a sexual harassment bill reforming the severe and pervasive legal standard. There was a proposal to amend the Human Rights Act to address the severe or pervasive sexual harassment standard. Did not end up either in the final Omnibus Supplemental Budget Conference Committee report or as a standalone bill. It had bipartisan support and passed on 121 to 4 on the House floor when brought as an amendment. Not moving this proposal forward was a missed opportunity by the legislature to provide better legal protections for Minnesotans facing sexual harassment. This is an unfinished business for the 2019 session. And the Star Tribune published an op-ed by the Minnesota Department of Human Rights Commissioner Kevin Lindsay. So there you can go view that if you'd like, about the need for the reform in this area. It doesn't give the title of it or anything, but it was just a link, so that's not helpful when I'm reading it.
Do you know, can you define, or is that something legally that you are aware of, severe and pervasive? What is that?
That is a legal term of art, and I don't know right now the definition as it stands now and what it's looking to be changed to. So, but yes, that is what they're looking at. So when we say severe and pervasive sexual harassment, that is, yes, that's a legal standard. But I don't.
Did you say it was 121 to 4 to?
121 to 4 on the House floor when brought as an amendment to the omnibus supplemental budget.
So it was passed.
Yes, but it did not end up on the omnibus supplemental budget conference, or it didn't end up coming out as its own bill.
Okay.
So basically,
So
if
who
my
are the
civic's
four that-
correct, I think it went into committee and never came out. I suppose
Okay,
it died.
yeah.
The old died in committee thing.
So who are the 4 that voted against it?
That's a good question.
You could probably find that.
That's
Yeah, I'm sure
yeah.
we can find that out.
And then another interesting article, misrepresenting pets as service animals. So as some of us or all of us are probably aware that service animals are protected under the Minnesota Human Rights Act and the American with Disabilities Act. There are a lot of people passing non-service animals off as service animals to get basically to be able to bring their animals places that they would not otherwise be. It is now illegal to do that.
But it's illegal to ask if that's a service animal too, isn't it?
That I don't know. I don't think it's illegal
I believe
to
that
ask.
was the big deal about that whole thing, is because you can't actually ask if they're a service animal, because then it's calling out a disability. Whereas that's,
But I think service animals have to be visibly service animals.
but companion animals are different.
I think that, yeah.
Like
I'll have to double check on that. I think there's a couple of questions that you can ask, like what are they? Oh, I forget now, so I won't even say it because it'll be wrong. But I'll take a look. It goes into effect on August, so I'll take a look. I didn't get a chance to look at the wording of the new statute, but I will take a look at it and get back. I just thought it was an interesting piece, and I kind of forgot that it was coming through the pipe there. So. Yeah, so that's interesting. Does anybody have any questions on that? All right, yeah, we're kind of up against the clock here, Chad. Sorry. Actually, Tim, sorry, I just hopped right over you. As long as I'm doling out apologies. Tim?
That's okay.
Thanks.
I don't have anything to report. Do we have another, how many months is it for? 3 months? 4 months? City council?
Quarter, so 3
months.
3 months?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who's next? Who wants to be a city council liaison? Essentially consists of checking the, you can go to everyone if you want to. They meet every other.
First and third Tuesday of every month?
That sounds right.
At
First
4:30?
First and third Tuesday at 4:30. They do have an agenda, so I think our primary objective is if there is something that looks like, something that we would have some interest in, we would like to be there. But so you don't have to go to all of them. But I also thought it was pretty interesting just going. I had never really
It's
gone
right
to
here in
one.
this office.
It's right here, yeah.
Right
Yep.
here.
So, can I get a volunteer for the next quarter?
I'll volunteer.
Thank you, Jed.
Thank you, Chad.
Golf is coming up.
And you can get their the schedule and their agendas, I think, are right on the city website.
And the minutes from the last meeting would be on there as well.
Yep. Okay. Other business, social media. Chad.
So I've been in touch with Officer Sarah Schlingman in regards to starting a Facebook page for the Human Rights Commission. She had mentioned that in order for me to start the page, I need to come up with a mission statement, which means how many followers, how often we're going to post, and other miscellaneous, things we wish to do with our Facebook page. We need to have a goal, which is, how many followers we get within a certain period of time. And then we also need to come up with a policy, which means who would manage, what would happen if somebody in a post would make a negative comment, what kind of action would we take? She has given me the New Ulm Police Department's policies and, procedures on the social media, which she said that I could reword to fit for our goal and our purpose. And then after that, I would present all three things to Brian, the city manager, and then he would approve or deny that request.
Okay, so what are you thinking? What are the next steps then?
Like I said, I want to reword what she had given me, and then I'll present it to each and every one of you at the next meeting. So we can all go through and discuss what we would like, what the goal of the page to be, etc. Once I have that all figured out and hammered out, I will present that to Brian. And we also would need to vote on a social media manager or, somebody to be in charge. So.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thanks for doing all that.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
Good job.
Anybody have questions for Chad regarding that?
I would say you could even, if you get the wording done ahead of time, just emailing it out too, and we could put input in.
We can't.
Oh, we
You
can't.
can't.
So we can see it, or.
You have to send that through Lisa.
Yep, and she
Yeah.
can send it out.
Yeah.
You can send
Okay.
it
There
out.
can't
We
be any
still can't-
changes.
Right, we can't make any changes or even.
Gotcha.
It all has to be done.
Then don't
via
do that.
email,
But
yeah.
we don't, it's a Facebook page. Yes, it would be great right now to have it up and running, for like the fair and all the stuff that we have going on.
Right.
But we've gone this far without one. We can kind of take our
This is a
time.
lot of work for a
I think
Facebook
managing it could
page.
be a nightmare.
Yeah.
What's that?
I think managing it could be a nightmare.
I don't foresee a
Oh,
problem.
if something negative came up on it on a
That's
Friday
where the
night at
procedure-
11 o'clock or something like that, it would need to be
That's-
shut down within time. I'm just have some concerns about that.
Right. And we could shut comments off. My fear of shutting comments off would be that we're not available to the public. That it's,
But that's what the policy and procedure will
Right,
take care
right.
of, what happens and how it happens.
and
It would be.
also our policy could be posted on the Facebook page as well, saying that if you make a negative comment or whatever, you can be banned, which Sarah had mentioned. They didn't get as many negative comments as they thought they were going to. But they do have a way to block people. And then they screenshot the comments that the people make, and then they put those into an email and save them. So that way there's, proof
Evidence.
of what was said and the damaging effects and et cetera, et cetera.
I don't want that job.
Okay. All right, thanks again, Chad.
Yep.
So yeah, some more to come on that. And even if you wanted to email Lisa and just say, hey, can you send this out just as for informational, like a handful of days before, so when we come in, maybe most of us had read through it,
Okay.
so that we're ready to kind of hit the ground running. That's fine. Okay. City code and charter, Larry. Got anything there?
Yeah, I attended the city charter commission meeting. I got there early, talked to the city manager, Brian Gromans, and talked to him about why I was there. And he said there's really no reason to do that. And if you read the news article a couple days after that meeting, we're included inside the city charter. What we're interested in is, and I talked to you about the city code, we need to make sure that the city code is updated with the appropriate language, because the current city code is outdated regarding number of members, regarding how it's structured. So that needs to be updated, as probably we should do an annual review of our own bylaws. And we have, according to the city code, we can develop and make use of our own bylaws. But we should probably, with the number of members, I think is 13 in the city code.
Should change that.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
sounds right.
The original numbers, anyway, we had I think I sent Dan a copy of the city code and the bylaws. So we need to, don't have to do anything right now, but I think maybe in the next, as we get to the slower time of the season, might be a good time to review that and make sure that stuff is taken care of
Right.
logistically, so it's all set and done.
Yep, no, I agree. And
We're
we
good
can,
with the city charter.
yep. And I can look into in the meantime, yeah, what we need to do, and we'll just, yeah, do it, I guess, take it from there. So, all right, thanks, Larry. All right, any other discussion? Did we miss anything? Covered a lot of stuff. Okay, hearing no other discussions, the date of the next meeting is August 27th, 2018. And do I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. I have a second.
Second.
Thank you. All approved to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, if anyone wants to stay here, say nay. All right, we're adjourned.